Imagine this: you're standing in the center of a vast, cold, neon-lit metropolis, but your ankles are chained with heavy, rusty chains that sink deep into the asphalt. You see your ambitions on the horizon, you taste success on your tongue, and you try to leap forward. But each time, an invisible, inertial force yanks you back with such brutality that you fall face down in the dirt. The most terrifying thing about this isn't the pain, but the fact that you've not only grown accustomed to these chains, you've begun calling them your destiny and character. You firmly believe that your life is the result of your conscious, willful decisions. You're convinced that your career, your inner confidence, and your complex relationships are built on the foundation of your free will. You've been lied to since birth. Your conscious mind is merely a decorative facade, hiding a dark, automatic mechanism programmed for your slow, comfortable fading into the shadows of others. Everything you proudly call your unique personality is, in reality, nothing more than a set of learned, automatic reactions that steal your mental power minute by minute. The urgency of this moment lies in the fact that right now, while you absorb these words, your habits are secretly rewriting the blueprint of your future. They are turning your tomorrow into a faded, pathetic copy of your mediocre yesterday, and you don't even notice the trap slamming shut. We're here to debunk the main myth of modern success psychology, the dangerous belief that you need motivation to achieve great things. Motivation is a cheap, perishable drug for the weak, which wears off completely within an hour. The real truth is that your life is not driven by lofty desires, but by deep neural ruts that your brain lazily follows toward the abyss, desperately saving energy at every turn. For years, your thinking has been poisoned by the infantile idea that habit is simply brushing your teeth in the morning or smoking. This is a lie. Habit is how you react to stress, how you handle conflictual communication, and the humiliatingly low value you place on your time. It's time to turn on the light and face the thieves who have been living in your head for years and eating at your table. Insight 1: The architecture of submission. Imagine someone who obsessively waters the weeds in their backyard every morning, sincerely expecting a royal rose to grow there someday. Every time you pick up your phone the first second after waking up, you commit an act of betrayal. You think you're simply checking the news, but in reality, you're voluntarily entering a humiliating reaction mode to other people's stimuli. Your brain instantly, without your consent, switches from a state of sovereign creator to a state of passive consumer. You're giving up your purest, morning dopamine rush to other people's successes, fake scandals, and soulless algorithms. You start your day as a slave to someone else's agenda, and your self-confidence evaporates before you've even tasted your first sip of coffee. In professional psychology, this is called external locus of control. You're literally training your subconscious to believe that the world around you dictates its terms, and you're just a pathetic shadow trying to fit in. This is the first and most dangerous habit thief, stealing your agency. You're no longer the captain of your ship, you're a rotten piece of wood, drifting through an ocean of other people's trashy content. You may call it being informed, but let's be honest, it's pure attention addiction. Your receptors are burned out by the endless stream of digital noise, and you can no longer concentrate on deep, serious work. You demand constant cheap stimulation because you've completely lost the taste for true creativity. You're a mental invalid who's forgotten how to walk without the crutches of screen notifications. Insight 2: The erosion of dignity. Imagine you're building a magnificent house, but every evening, when no one is looking, you personally remove one crucial brick from the very foundation. This is exactly what the habit of endless self-justification does to you. Every time you make a grand promise to yourself, to start exercising, to read a book, to finish a difficult project, and break it under any pretext, you deal a fatal blow to your identity. Your subconscious isn't a blind fan, it's an impartial and cold recorder of your failures. It doesn't listen to your pretty social media posts, it records your daily self-betrayals. Eventually, your inner voice turns into a venomous whisper: "You can't handle this anyway, you're a wimp, why even try?" This is how the habit of being a loser is born, skillfully disguised as a realistic and sober view of things. Your real relationships and your male attraction directly depend on this inner foundation. If you can't keep your word to yourself, you broadcast this fundamental weakness to the outside world. People around you, partners, enemies, they all read your hidden insecurities at the level of animal microsignals. You will never be able to lead others if you can't even lead yourself until the end of the workday. This is imposter syndrome, honed to a terrifying automatism. You begin to subconsciously fear success because deep down you know your foundation is rotten and rests on your word. You deliberately seek coldness and rejection from your partners because it sadomasochistically corresponds to your inner sense of your own insignificance. You are the chief architect of your own personal hell. Insight 3, the social echo trap. Imagine yourself locked in a cramped room where all the walls are distorted mirrors reflecting the distorted opinions of others. Your habit of constantly seeking external approval is the most effective and quickest way to become a nobody forever. You filter your true thoughts, your bold speech, and your communication through the fine sieve of what people will think or say. You're afraid of being harsh, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of losing those who have been dragging you down to the bottom of their mediocrity for years. Your subconscious instinctively seeks safety in a crowd, but in the modern world, a crowd is a herd, always heading straight for the edge. Your individuality is sacrificed for the dubious comfort of being normal. You voluntarily castrate your potential so as not to embarrass others with your strength. In dark psychology, this is called social programming of submission. You've been taught since childhood to be convenient and predictable, but convenience for others is always the opposite of your personal strength. As long as you're afraid to hurt someone's fragile feelings with your unwavering truth, you remain just a backdrop in someone else's alien scenario. You steal your future from yourself, handing it over to those who truly don't care about you. Insight 4, the cortisol lockdown. You've become addicted to drama. Your body is in a constant, debilitating state of background stress, and negative emotions have become your only available fuel. When long-awaited peace finally arrives in your life, you begin subconsciously provoking conflict to recapture that nauseating, yet all too familiar, taste of anxiety. You may call it a vibrant, fulfilling life, or a complex, deep personality, but in reality, it's a severe biological malfunction. Your brain is hooked on cortisol and adrenaline, like hard drugs. You destroy healthy, stable relationships because they become boring, and you fly like a moth to the poisonous flame of toxic manipulators because only there do you feel alive. This pernicious addiction to perpetual chaos kills your ability for deep, long-term planning. You've been living in an exhausting, here-and-now survival mode for years, when you should long ago be developing a grand strategy for your global expansion. You waste colossal energy on petty battles that are insignificant, and ultimately, you have no energy left for the one where you truly must win. Insight 5, information fat. We live in an era of total mental obesity. Your habit of endlessly consuming advice, watching motivational videos, and buying courses without the slightest intention of putting them into practice is the most sophisticated form of intellectual masturbation. You create for yourself the sweet illusion of rapid progress, while remaining stuck in the same stagnation. Knowledge that isn't translated into action isn't valuable, it's poison. It inflates your ego to gigantic proportions, creating a false, dangerous sense of superiority over others, but your material reality remains the same. Your true power slips through your fingers while you continue searching for some magical, secret ingredient that will one day replace hard work and rigorous discipline. Right now, you feel a growing internal resistance. You desperately want to close this video and say, your circumstances are much more complex than others. But look at your life without filters or embellishments. You are the direct result of what you've been doing for the last 5 years on your damned autopilot. Your endless excuses are nothing more than armed guards guarding your comfort zone, which has long since become your zone of total defeat. You're beginning to realize that all these years, you've been the main accomplice in your own robbery. You yourself, voluntarily, handed over the keys to your future to thieves in the guise of laziness, momentary fear, and slavish dependence on prying eyes. You weren't truly living, you were simply fulfilling an old, faulty program, written by your childhood traumas and adult weaknesses. But right now, those rusty chains are beginning to crack under the pressure of the truth. This realization is your first real, sovereign act of will in a long, long time. That frightening emptiness you feel when you finally turn off the endless noise of notifications or stop making excuses in the mirror, this is the sacred space where your new, true power can and should be born. Your confidence should no longer depend on random likes, your boss's approval, or other people's fleeting smiles. Your male attraction should be born from your absolute autonomy and self-sufficiency. Stop confusing meaningless fuss with real productivity. Deep inner silence is the highest and most inaccessible form of power in this crazy world of information noise. Right now, admit to yourself, you have been a submissive slave to your own corrupted algorithms for too long. This honest admission is not your death sentence, but your only key to freedom. Your brain is incredibly plastic, and you are capable of rewriting any code. But the price of this freedom is daily, boring, sometimes unbearable and ruthless control over every little detail of your life. Your mind will try for a long time to drag you back into the familiar, warm swamp. It will subtly feed you treacherous thoughts like, one missed day won't change anything. Remember, this is a blatant lie. One time changes absolutely everything, because every choice you make today confirms either your new, steely strength or your old, rotten weakness. Your new, predatory thinking must be based on a single, stark question: is this particular habit right now making me a blunt instrument in someone else's hands or the master of my destiny? Everything else is background noise. Everything else is a cheap trap for fools and weaklings. Learn to truly value asceticism and self-restraint. It is precisely in strict restraint that the greatest concentration of energy is hidden. In this concentration lies your inevitable victory. Not the capricious voice of your momentary desires, but the cold voice of your unshakable principles must become the only law in your territory. Your future successes will be completely different, not what you previously imagined. They will lack cheap pathos and boasting, but will possess a frightening solidity. Your path is not a bright, momentary flash, but the steady, eternal burn of a nuclear reactor. It is the quiet confidence of a person who knows for sure that they are in complete control of themselves, until their last breath. You no longer look outside for someone to finally save, understand, or support you. You no longer need that. You seek only ways to maximize your inner potential with surgical precision. This is a fundamental, tectonic shift in your psychology. You have forever ceased to be a supplicant of life and have become its full-fledged player. Yes, at first you'll feel physically unfamiliar and even painful. Your body, accustomed to toxins, will demand its usual dose of cortisol and cheap approval. But you are the sovereign of your reality. You are the rightful master of your impulses, not their pathetic hostage. Every conscious, willful choice you make today is another nail in the coffin of your old, feeble self. Choose strict discipline not because it's right or good, but because it is the only existing path to true, tangible power over reality. Weak, undisciplined people are always fatally dependent on blind chance and the moods of others. Strong people depend only on the clarity of their own algorithms. Your hidden potential is revealed only in strict order, not in creative chaos. Remember this as an axiom. Your social influence, your wealth, your great legacy, all of this grows only where there is structure, discipline, and the ironclad predictability of your will. Chaos is the fate of those doomed to oblivion. You are finally emerging from the thick fog of illusions. You are no longer leaving your one and only life to chance, hoping for a miracle. You are taking the helm and beginning to build your own world according to your own strict rules. And let the rest of the world try to stop you. This path will require incredible courage. The courage to be totally different. The courage to seem strange or boring to those who still seek cheap drama and entertainment. The courage to finally accept that you are worthy of absolutely everything you can provide for yourself with your work and your intellect. The dark secret of your success has finally been revealed. Your habits were your most dangerous enemies only because you, through stupidity or weakness, allowed them to become so. Fix your inner mechanism, lubricate the gears of your will, and the world around you will begin to obey your desires with a frightening, almost mystical speed. You are no longer a victim of your automatisms and circumstances. You are the master strategist of your unique destiny. Your thinking is no longer a shield for protection from reality, but a sharply honed sword for actively conquering it and reshaping it to suit your needs. Look into the eyes of the boredom you feel from monotonous discipline. It is behind this gray wall that your true, boundless freedom lies. The freedom not to do what your lazy body feels like right now, but to do what is necessary for your eternal greatness. Stop wasting years searching for inspiration and motivation from the outside. Start building your personal system from within, brick by brick. The system never fails, it works even when you're tired. Emotions always fail, especially at the most crucial moments of your life. Every step you take now is not a random movement, but a conscious maneuver toward a great goal. You see social traps a mile away. You hear the treacherous whispers of your momentary weaknesses, but they no longer have any power over you. You've become deaf to calls to mediocrity. Your communication with the outside world has become crystal clear, concise, and blunt. You no longer waste your precious words on those who are incapable of hearing you. You don't waste a second of your time on activities that don't yield worthy results. You've become as effective as a predator on the hunt. Your personal relationships are now built on your inner fullness and abundance of strength, not on your childhood deficits and need for love. You no longer seek validation of your worth in the eyes of another. You yourself, by your very existence, are the sole source of your worth. You stand on the threshold of a completely new life, one that others are afraid to even dream of. The old, rusty chains of habit lie limp at your feet. You take the first, confident step forward into this new reality, and this time, no one and nothing in this sublunary world will dare to pull you back. Your habits are either your most loyal and powerful servants or your most cruel and cold-blooded executioners. Choose right now to whom you will entrust your future today.